grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and
to everybody
the
out there
brave.
on YouTube and throughout the world. Thank you for dropping by. Welcome again to another episode of Nahu's Holoverse. Tonight I'm going to tell you about a really interesting experience I had just the other night. You see, I tend to out-of-body travel quite a bit. I've had lots of lucid dreams, and this is one of those kind of experiences. I woke up early in the morning after such an experience and felt really excited, really unusual, like I'd really gone somewhere this time that was very interesting. It was into what I considered to be the future. I found myself in what appeared to be the Oval Office, and it seemed like a very impressive office like the president has. Beautiful dark stained tables and impressive open windows and just the whole atmosphere and aura of the presidential office. In that office, I was surprised to see there was Hillary Clinton, and she was seated at a small table, apparently eating her daily meal. She was dressed in a tweed beige suit. I noticed, first of all, her blonde hair, and she was very focused on what she was doing. And the next thing I realized, I was hovering behind her and looking down on the back of her head and looking at her meal. You see, I think that's because, in part, I'm curious about what people are eating in terms of nutrition, because I like to see a nutritionally sound meal, and I think that's also very symbolic because on her plate I saw a very balanced meal. For the most part, a traditional meal, however very balanced, having all the food groups. And I found myself looking very closely to see if she had a large piece of meat, because I don't eat meat, and I was curious if she focused on that segment of society that's real interested in that kind of food group. And the next thing I realized, she had a piece of chicken, and I thought, wow, she eats very balanced, and her plate was very balanced. So I felt good about that. The next thing I realized, I was seated what would be diagonally in front of her in a chair with my back to her. I was surprised that I had my back to her, but I felt very humbled and respectful for her space, and I think that's partly what it was for. And also, I wanted to see if she would notice me, but she didn't notice me, and I found myself eating very dry macaroni and cheese, which is something I don't normally eat, and I was surprised that I was eating that and having a hard time getting it down. As I was busy trying to swallow this macaroni and dry cheese, I suddenly felt the impulse to say to her, with my back still in that position, Hillary, you'll be the next president of the United States, don't worry about it. Because I picked up a vibration that said that she was very worried about not becoming the next president, perhaps even depressed a little bit. And when I said that, I turned slightly to the right and I could see her face. She had suddenly noticed me, and her head shot up. She looked very surprised, and she sort of smiled and she said, "Hello? What did you say?" And I said that, "Don't worry, you'll be the next president of the United States." She said, "Wonderful, thank you for that information." And what was interesting at that point is, next thing I know, in the room I suddenly saw people coming, and at that same time, or simultaneous with what I saw there at that time, people moving into the office, she said, "Would you like to stay for lunch? I have guests. You could be my guest." And I said, "Well, thank you very much." You know, I started thinking to myself, I wonder why the dry macaroni and everything, and then suddenly it came to me symbolically, well, I'm a Yankee noodle dandy. I started laughing to myself, thinking about, here I am hobnobbing with the future president of the United States and with all these political folk. Suddenly I felt very lucky, very special. Perhaps, who knows, maybe someday I'll be invited there and have a chance to actually talk to this wonderful, intelligent lady. We'll see. Look forward to many more episodes like this. I think you're going to enjoy them. I've had many of these out-of-body experiences. Let's see if this one comes true. What do you think? Peace out there to you. Until next time. Bye now.
Tiring, ain't that inspiring?
Hurrah, hurrah, we'll join the Jubilee.
And that's going some for the Yankees, by gum. Red, white, and blue, I am for you. Honest, you're a grand old flag. You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave.